Children are remarkable in the way that they acquire language. How do they do it? Is it the same for different languages? How long does it take? Can they learn two languages? In this video, we will be answering these questions. People wonder how children even learn how to speak in the first place. There are three major theories on how children learn language: the behavioral approach, the innate approach, and the interactionist approach. The behavioral approach believes that children learn to speak primarily by copying the language they hear around them. With the help of positive reinforcement from parents or caretakers, children slowly take in certain phrases and grammar techniques and begin to learn how to speak a proper language. The innate approach considers that when children are exposed to speech, parts of the brain click in and instantly make sense of utterances because that is what the brain is programmed to do. The innate approach does believe that some sort of language is required to be heard by the child, but reinforcement or training a child to speak has no effect, and it is all in the brain. The interactionist approach is nearly a mix of the behavioral and innate approaches, as it states that although the brain plays a part in the way children acquire language, they also need to be exposed in social and linguistic environments. Children learn language and how to speak at a rapid pace. By the time they start school, they would have full control over the main functions and features of language and its uses. It's also a fact that children must be exposed to some sort of language to learn it in the first place. Children also have an incredibly strong reason to learn, so that they can communicate with others what they need. They also understand a great amount of language, but are not fully capable of using it all. The developmental stages of language acquisition in children. From when a child is born to when they are starting kindergarten, they are constantly developing their language acquisition. There are several key stages in this development. The first stage in child language acquisition, pre-verbal, is before children can speak words. Should note that just because children are not speaking, it does not mean they aren't communicating. For example, a child might cry when it is hungry, or squeal in joy when it is happy. The second stage is the holophrastic or one-word stage. This stage is when children start to utter single words, whether it be daddy, doggy, teddy, juice, or ta. Children who are in this stage often use gestures or intonation to convey further meaning. For example, a child might say dada and shrug to express where is daddy, or point and say dada to say there is daddy. The third stage is the telegraphic or two-word stage. This stage usually starts around 18 months. This is where children start to combine words together to convey further meaning, like saying mommy juice, daddy beer, or drink a cup. The last stage is the multi-word stage. There isn't a three-word stage as such, but what comes after the two-word stage is called the multi-word stage. In this stage, the child makes remarkable progress in the way that they speak and develop language. The use of the IPA to translate children's speech. Linguistics like to track the words and patterns in a child's speech in order to gain a deep understanding of the way that the child learns. But how do you spell ugu gaga? Ask anyone, and you may get a wide variety of answers. Linguistics decided that the best way to analyze speech is not to spell them out with letters, but with sounds. The IPA, or International Phonetic Alphabet, uses a series of symbols to represent different sounds. For consonants, these symbols are usually exactly the same. For example, the symbol T makes a T sound, S makes a S sound, but a Th sound, as in the or these, is represented by this funny symbol right here. For vowels, there are many sounds, and are not restricted to the one letter. The schwa, a backwards E symbol, is the A in about, the E in taken, the I in pencil, the O in eloquent, and the U in supply. Because the alphabet sounds are defined very thoroughly, linguistics are able to reduce a series of symbols which can't be pronounced any other way. Bilingualism. There are two types of bilingualism, one being simultaneous, where a child learns two languages at the same time from birth. For example, a Canadian child might have a French mother and an English father, so he learns both languages. The other is consecutive bilingualism, where a child learns one language at home and then another at school. Some people think that being bilingual is harmful to the child's ability to learn language overall, making them prone to speech disorders later on in life. Others think that it helps the child's ability to distinguish patterns, and also their cognitive ability in general. No conclusive evidence has been found on the subject yet. As you can see, the way a child learns how to speak is a very deep subject. Hopefully, in the near future, we can learn more and find out the exact way that children acquire language. But for now, that is all. Derp, derpity derp derp derp. Derp derp derpity derp 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 derpity derp derp derp. Burp bop boopity bop bop doop da boop.